First of all, before you even mount this or mount your motor, your trolling motor onto this block, is to always test to see if it fits, because the only variance that you're going to get is if you come down here. So if you look down this, these two slots, we call it the locating slots for your Mirage drive. So the locating slots, the distance between these two slots will vary from one kayak to another due to kayak manufacturing. So we're talking about differences of 2 mil at the most, generally is within 1 mil. The gap difference between one kayak to another will either mean that the pin is a perfect fit or the pin is too long and it will not fit down it. So meaning that you will have to grind off half a mil up to a mil or so to reduce the length so that the whole mounting block will slot in and lock in place. So first of all is to back up again, we'll look at this mount. So the motor mount here is, what you need to do is get your 2 mil Allen key and loosen off. There we go. So this thing is free to slide. And what you want to do is put it approximately in the center, because we're trying to find the center point for the bottom locating pin to actually sit in. So what you do is with the bolts facing the back, because that's the back of the kayak, and then the FPV-POWER logo is the front of the kayak. So point it to the front, to the nose of the kayak, and you want to put it squarely in and just push it down. Once it is all clipped into position by the two jaws, you need to swing back the pivoting part and just to test and make sure that it's not hitting the hull. If it's hitting the hull, it'll be either on the left side or the right side, and you can adjust that by moving the whole block on the main pin, which we've allowed a few mil of play, either left or right, to centralize the whole mounting block unit, so that when you swing it back, it will not touch any side of the hull. After the bottom lower pin has automatically centered itself left and right, you want to just carefully pull it straight up, and without disrupting the lower pin, do not tilt it on the side so that you slide left or right. Put it down, grab the Allen key and tighten it like so, just finger tight, and that ain't going to go nowhere. See, it's locked in the center point. Another scenario when you're testing it, so remember the first step that we did was we would loosen this. There's another scenario where the bottom pin is a fraction too long due to kayak manufacturing, the tolerances. So for example, you might get to a point where you're test fitting it first, you push it down, and you're finding it very hard to lock in the pin, or you've got to use a lot of force to, like that. That means the lower pin is too long. So if you can't even get your top pin to actually fall into the jaws of the locking mechanism, which is here, this locking mechanism, that means the lower pin's not going down far enough, which means it's touching the side and it's too long. So at this point, what you need to do is take the lower pin out, get yourself an angle grinder, or even sandpaper, or even a grinding stone, and take off half a mil to start off with. And the finish you want is after you sand it down or grind it down with whatever method you want to use, or even a file is fine, a hand file, you want to just get a nice round finish on it. So a 45-degree chamfer on it. That's the finish that you want. And then after you take half a mil, stick it back in here, keeping it loose, sliding, and retry it. And if you're finding that it's better, but it's still tight, take it out, keep taking half a mil off until you get to the perfect scenario where you go to test and you get results like this. You push it in and it clips in crisp, nice and sound. So you take it out, of course, at this time carefully, not to disturb the lower pin, like so. Put it back up here, get your Allen key, and hand tight. Remember, this is only hand tight. You can even test it before you do this. It's only hand tight, finger tight, and that will not move at all. Slight tension on that will stop this from moving. And that's how you have it. And look at this, you can do it all day. That's it. 1, 2, 3. She's in. She's up. And again, want to zoom in, Brenton? So you can have a look. The result you want is a smooth operation. Put it into the drive well, push it down, and she's locked in. Release it, and clip. There you have it.